Hi, Madeline. Look what I got. Madeline and the Mermaids. Is that you? Dear Madeline, this special book was made just for you. You are the main character, so enjoy the magic while we read. Lots of love, Grandma and Grandpa. Madeline loved the sea. She would often take her sailboat and sail across the bay near her home. But one day when Madeline was sailing, a big storm struck. The wind blew, the rain fell, and the sea tossed her boat. "This is not good," she said. "My boat is going to sink." She tried and tried again to head toward shore, but the winds and waves kept pushing her further and further to sea. After several hours, the storm stopped, but she had no idea where she was. She spotted a small island and headed toward it, hoping they could get her back home. The island, however, was deserted. There were coconut trees, banana trees, and lots of birds, even a waterfall and a small lagoon. But Madeline didn't see any people. "How am I going to get home?" she said. She was so sad she started to cry. There," a voice said. "This is no time for tears." Madeline looked around and said, "Who's there?" "Just us, dearie," another voice said. "Who's us?" she said. Suddenly a figure leaped out of the lagoon, flipped in the air, and landed perfectly back in the water. It was a mermaid. "Stop being a show-off, Zoe," a second voice said. Zoe popped her head above the water and smiled at Madeline. "I'm not a show-off, Mary," she said. "I'm just stretching a bit." Mary swam out from behind a rock and waved at Madeline. "Are you really mermaids?" Madeline asked. They both had tails instead of legs. "Oh, yes," lifting her tail out a bit. "Why are you crying?" Zoe said. "I was sailing in my boat when the storm hit. Now I've no idea how I'll get home," Madeline said. Madeline started to feel better knowing she wasn't alone. "Please don't fret," Mary told Madeline. "We can have you home before dinner." Madeline regained her eyesight and she looked down at the sparkling, shiny tail she had. She couldn't believe it. A pink tail. She was a mermaid. Zoe and Mary giggled. "We are magic mermaids and have given you the tools you need to get yourself home," explained Zoe. "Thank you," Madeline cried. "Will you swim home with me?" Now every Saturday, Zoe and Mary met Madeline at the bay so they could play. Zoe and Mary turned Madeline into beautiful mermaids so they can swim and frolic in the warm ocean. Madeline loves being a mermaid. It made her feel free and happy. Now Madeline never gets frightened of storms because she knows one big storm led her to meet her new best friends. Hope you enjoy the book, Madeline. We love you, Grandma and Grandpa.